Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, how are you?
Good. You like having to do news of farms? Has anybody heard anything else about there was evidently a break-in at Marshall?
What happened?
I heard something about it, but tell me more.
I know they've had, is this like money was stolen?
I don't know what was, if anything was taken. I just heard that there was a break-in.
Yeah, I heard it was like tools and just like a kind of a minor, like more like a kid vandalism thing
Oh, gee.
than a person, trying to get money or
Yeah.
stuff they could sell. So
Wow. Everybody has to be careful. Any other news? Everybody's doing fine. Lots of
So far.
customers.
Yeah, how's business?
Busy,
Busy.
very, very, very busy.
Do you accept walk-ins
Yes.
like off the street?
Mhm.
Because I drive by and I think,
Yeah.
should I pop in?
Yeah.
Or should I go up to Hutchins where I know I can stand in line?
We've been open since June at least. May?
I seem to remember that you had a system of ordering ahead of time, right?
Just for the
And then-
first couple weeks.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Does everybody think that's horrible? I do.
Say
I hate
more.
Oh, it's completely anathema to our way of marketing. It's just throwing everything that we have and letting people come pick out what
Yeah,
it's horrible. So we've never allowed people to say pre-order. My joke, this is my joke. This is my good joke. So the only thing that we allow people to pre-order is rutabagas, and that's what I do. Some of them get the joke, and some of them don't, because nobody actually wants to pre-order rutabagas. But
right.
in any case,
I thought you were doing
we are
something.
doing it
Ryan.
now, and it's terrible.
Are you getting much business that way?
Well, you have to be. I mean, I think like I got my finger on the pulse of all the crops that are going on, but to be able to do a pre-order, I have to be all I would do is go out and look at what stage the arugula was at, and it's just impossible. And I can't. It's hard to trust the people that work for you because they're not really thinking in the same way that you are, and saying, "Oh, how do the radishes look? Oh, I think there's a lot of them out there. Oh, good. Okay, I'll put them on the pre-order list." And then there's like nothing there, or they have a problem, and so you've committed already, right? And you don't want to let somebody down. You don't want to either say, "Sorry, no radishes for you," or "Here are these crappy radishes. This is what we have." So I really prefer our traditional marketing strategy, which is not to promise anything to anyone.
Dan, how do you handle walk-ins at your farm?
We have limited amount of people can get in. They all have to use hand sanitizer. They all have to have masks. We basically have to have an additional worker at the farm stand just to be kind of enforcing these kind of entrance rules and stuff. Luckily, this time of year they can clean garlic or bag carrots or something like that while they're standing there watching the hand sanitizer. But it is more expensive. We're busy as well. We have a lot of people, but I don't know how it all washes out in terms of. It seems like the people that do come naturally, because they're standing in line for so long, or some of them are, that they're buying more, like individually. But I think the total customer count has to be down, even though you see these lines. It's like, I can't imagine that we get as many customers, because who wants to wait in a line? I mean, there's got to be people that just like pull in and are like, nah. That's what I do. Go to Home Depot. I'm like, nah. I'll drive to Waltham later.
How does the farm at Walden do?
We're trying to the website thing, and it's not really working very well. I mean, I don't know if everybody's familiar, but we have a farm stand on Route 2. And it's just, we normally have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 college kids or people for the summer, and it's just myself and Robert, who's in the talk here, are doing everything ourselves this year. But it's just to get business. The website doesn't seem to be happening a lot. I don't know if we don't have enough variety for people to want to do a special order and drive over here just for that, or there's a lot less traffic. We've noticed on Route 2, so that may have something to do with it. But it's kind of we're trying not to have an open farm stand, but so far it's not working very well.
Okay. So let's go on to Ag Day. The town is okay having Ag Day. They also sort of see it as a way to get the merchants a little bit happy about commerce in downtown again. And so in our preliminary canvassing of farms, we had about 7 farms that replied that they would be interested in having Ag Day. So I wanted to see and have a vote, I guess, to see if we should go ahead and plan it. There's a possibility of having it downtown again or finding another place. It will be reduced because there will be no entertainment, no food on the street, and probably no tables extra for nonprofits or otherwise.
Happy, may I ask a question, or do you have more to say first?
Go ahead.
If we go to a different location, if we're not in downtown, how does that help the merchants?
Well, that's
And
what
another way at this is, it's kind of makes me smile, given a history of some hostility by the merchants to Ag Day, crowding the street and sidewalks and so forth.
Well, I would I would believe that it would be, let's just say, 50% of us there on the street. So I could see it as a 1-lane lineup of farms, whereas before we had both sides of the street. So I don't think that part is a problem. We can also configure it differently.
So I don't really understand how Ag Day in this format is helpful to the merchants in town. It's typically been a marketing event for farms in town and for the town businesses. And I don't, if we're, obviously we can't do entertainment and games and that sort of thing. So it's less of a community event and more of a farmer's market. And I guess I don't see how that's really helping them, and I don't see how it's that essential for us to do, because it's not like a farmer's market that people depend on weekly to get their produce. So I'm having trouble seeing what like the vision of and the purpose of this market is, and why we need to do something like this if it's not essential when everyone else is canceling everything. Like schools are not going to be open. So it seems like it seems to me that like, why would we do this when everything else is canceled?
Well, the town is beginning to hold different events and to sponsor efforts for people to get out And it's a way to promote fresh food and local agriculture, and just to maintain the knowledge that the farms are still working for the people. Not everyone that I've ever run across in the market has even ventured out of town to go to the other farms. And so this is like a whoopee. We discovered something new in Concord sometimes. And I think
Yeah, I see that in past years, but in this kind of climate and environment, it's not going to be like the most it can't be the most like friendly and community oriented event. There's just no way to do it safely and have it be the same type of event. So I guess I don't see how an event in this format is particularly helpful. And I also, I have to say, like, I'm sure all of us have experienced a lot of hostility from people about mask wearing and safety. And I'm just wondering why we would invite more of that. You know, like there's a lot of, I mean, retailers are seeing this all the time of having to like enforce people wearing masks, enforce people being sanitary, and every once in a while get someone who is hostile about it. And on our own turf, it's kind of easier to deal with, and with regulars, it's easier to deal with. But in like in the middle of town, how are we going to enforce that stuff? And we're going to have confrontations, and it's going to be unpleasant, I think.
well, the town is adamant that people will wear face masks and will wash hands and use sanitization. And they have wash stations, I believe, that are useful. We will still have the police presence, and there will be one-way shopping, just as the indoor protocols are advocating. You must have some of the worst people on your side of town, because I don't think we've had one incident.
I don't think we're alone. I really don't think we're alone. I mean, we've had mostly wonderful customers, but people are tense. People are really tense, and people, even if they're not directly saying negative things about our safety measures, they're less friendly right now. A lot of people are, and I guess I feel like a more public event is just inviting more confrontation that I don't like. Personally, I don't want to deal with. We're dealing with it enough on our farm, and having to deal enough with people not wanting to comply with safety measures. Even I know like this, it's more, you hear about it more like in other states, but it happens here too. And we have less control in town than we do at our own farm stands, I think. So that's one of my big concerns. And aside from, I feel like it's not something that's necessary in a time when we really should only be doing things that are like necessary.
Brian, what do you think?
Well, I kind of wish there were other farms here to weigh in, because I don't really have a strong feeling. I understand where Lisa's coming from. We've had limited experience with customers like that, although we've had certainly seems like more grumpy customers lately. We did have somebody email us early on after we sent our new policies out on email, saying that they wouldn't be shopping with us anymore, and whatever. We haven't had a real issue, and we've also been doing farmers markets. They're very weird, and they're but they're doing okay, and I feel like we're approaching it in a safe way, as safe as you can get. But I don't feel that strongly, because we already have a farmers market on Saturday. The only thing that appeals to me about Ag Day is because that's what we've done. So, it's like, do we want to do Ag Day? Because that's what we've been doing for the last, 15, 16 years, or 14, or whatever it is. But it's certainly arguable that it's something that the importance of which doesn't rise to having it this year. I don't really have a strongly felt position, I don't think.
Emily?
I'm leaning against the idea of no entertainment, no games. To me, it's very much a community event. I happen to love the presence of the nonprofits. It grieves me that the League of Women Voters, wouldn't be able to have their table encouraging people to sign up to get their mail-in ballots or whatever, but they'll find other venues. And I do feel that it's a lot of extra work for the farmers who participate. On the other hand, if there are just 50% of our usual group, the people who want to come can come, and the people who would rather not, it's fine, because the whole thing is on a smaller scale. I guess I think the challenge at Ag Day is getting people there and the prospect of being able to mingle and see other things or do other things. I think those are draws. If we feel there's some lack of awareness that farms are in business and open and have good, fresh local produce to offer, maybe we could think about encouraging business to go to the farm stands. So
I think that there are a lot of people who would look at this as a way to get outside, especially if it's a nice day. It's not 150 degrees, but hopefully 80, 85 would be nice. And it seems like in the last week, that's been a lot of our customers. They're just glad to get outside. They have their caregivers drive them over or whatever. But I don't want to think that the town doesn't promote us anymore. And they are seemingly quite happy that we would have a gathering, not in the usual form. And then it's not going to be, I would almost guarantee you that it's going to be over a year before you have what you used to have as a farmer's market in the city.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah.
Could I say something?
Yep.
I was wondering if we could do something that promotes ourselves, but that isn't an in-person event. Like a lot of things are happening, but they're switching to something virtual, like the mass. I think it's the Department of Ag. Somebody dropped by a thing that they created a map of all the farms, and they're having people send in like pictures or receipts of themselves at different farm stands, and then like doing a raffle with prizes. I was wondering if we could do something like that, where we could work on outreach and letting everybody know who's open and what the hours are, and sort of like engage people, but not have it be like physically together, because that's sort of like the direction that people are going right now. Like people are used to things not happening in person, but are looking for things to do, and they could get out to each of the farm stands take pictures of themselves like in front of the sunflower or whatever it is, or of just the receipt of what they bought or of their produce or
The
something.
sign.
Yeah, of the sign. Anything. Like we can encourage them to get out. And I know outreach is an issue, but if the town was willing to help us, like they have like email lists and they have their own Instagram and stuff. Like if they helped us reach more than our usual customers, and tried to promote us and, you know, list the hours or like letting people know which places they can go to without pre-ordering and which you have to order. Like I don't think it's like Ag Day or forget it. We're not gonna like try to promote everybody, especially folks if they're like having trouble getting people to the farm. I don't know. I thought it was cool that I can forward people the info of this. That I don't think we'd be as high tech as the app that they have to do it, but I think we could do something where they like tagged us on Instagram or emailed us even, or I mean, people have a lot of other people, not us, have time on their hands for projects like that. I feel like.
So how is this different than our Instagram page already?
Oh, because it would be like a contest for a raffle, like it would be more like the farm passport, but without the physical book. Like it'd be like the farm passport where they show that they visited different farms in town and then we choose among them. And we could even have them to the farm, different farms to give them their prize and like take a picture of them with their basket of stuff. It'd be more like the passport than, yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I like that.
And I feel like the town folks are really good at, some of them are, you know, like if they really were looking to support us, I feel like they could get the word out like pretty widely in a way that our passport, when we were just emailing people we already knew, you know, didn't do.
Well, and you know, if they did it, I noticed that the can't remember what it's called, but there's now a banner across Main Street for the program that the town and I think the Chamber of Commerce has put together to support local businesses, not including farms. And the time frame, I think it's some kind of solstice is in the name, but it runs through the end of August. And I don't know, maybe starting a focus on farms in September is just way too late. But maybe they could dovetail in terms of just in terms of publicity. Something's already going on.
Yeah.
To benefit the retail, you know, the retail businesses, and certainly, you know, we're part of the local economy, and
we're
don't want to
already-
be neglected.
We're already getting people from the Concord Together passport type thing.
Oh, really?
And there's several things going on. I mean, how many things do you want to have going on? That's the other thing.
Yeah.
But this could be over a long period of time, and then the one day, like the 12th, September 12th, could be when people come to the farms to get their prizes. Like, I mean, I would give somebody like 100 sunflowers or something, you know, like anything, or like a basket of vegetables, or give like multiple people something. You know, I don't know.
Okay, so let me bring this to a head, I suppose. I have commitments from 7 farms to be part of a farmer's market in Concord at some location. Do we want to go ahead and do this, or do we want to scrap it and someone will come up with a online type thing, which I don't know. I'm sure that the woman that does the town email stuff is somewhat overwhelmed. I've never been able to really get in touch with her directly, but perhaps it's possible. Or if you have other electronic technology ideas of things to do. What do you think?
Well, let me ask this. If the 7 farms want to go ahead, how much, I mean, we're still in the role of planning and publicizing and being on the street, right?
Right. And that is drawing to a very near end, and as well, for time to have things happen.
Yep.
I'm assuming I'm one of that Hutchins is one of the 7 farms. I mean, I said I would go ahead, but I'm not committed to it. It's not that, it's not a big deal to me. So I'm kind of comfortable either way. I really wish more of the farms were here. I don't know if there's a way to have them weigh in.
So it was Steve, Ricky Marshall, Chip at Brigham.
Colonial Gardens.
Sorry?
Colonial Gardens.
Oh, that's right, Colonial Gardens.
Saltbox.
Saltbox said yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5. And maybe
Farrell, Shimoni.
Silverleaf.
I never hear from him.
and I think he's been very iffy for some while.
Considering he hasn't been to the market in a long time, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do just wish that some of them were here because I would like to hear more of like what they're envisioning it looking like why the drive. Like I'm not trying to, like I just don't see the benefits as I assume that there are benefits that they see.
Well, there's the benefit of tradition, and some kind of nod to normalcy, which we'll never see again. At least, not as it was. My big reservation is, will it be fun? Will it be interesting? Nobody will have any incentive to stay or hang out.
They won't be allowed to.
They won't be allowed to. And I can understand wanting to, stand at the top of the hill at Hutchins Farm and look out, or stand at the perimeter of any field and just feel the breezes. But to be in the center.
I don't know. I mean, this is sort of on the same idea of your raffle thing, but maybe something could be promoted for people to go to the various farms on a certain day. And maybe, as you say, maybe this is exactly what you're saying, and have a raffle to encourage people to, I mean, I kind of like that from the standpoint of actually you're getting to see the farm rather than hang out in downtown Concord. But I don't know, someone would have to kind of create that.
I think the date doesn't have to be an issue. Like we could push it back so that we extend the period when people can gather their Instagram selfies or whatever.
But
I mean,
Brian, you said there were no tomatoes after the 12th of September.
Yeah, but there's nice selfies to be had.
Yeah.
Potatoes that just don't taste good.
And it wouldn't have to end at a certain time. Like if people wanted more promotion now, we could do you could do something where there's more than one day that someone can come and get something, or have a raffle. Like it wouldn't have to be just
I'm-
one end day.
I'm assuming Stone Soup, which is kind of the other big ag
Event, yeah.
that's joined with Ag Day at the hip, is canceled.
Yes. As far as we know.
I would imagine, unless they're going to deliver.
Mm.
We'll do a Zoom dinner.
Okay, so am I hearing that you'd rather have me canvass the farms again? Or to tell the town, forget it, we're looking at some other venue?
Well, what would you, I mean, it's a lot of time and energy for you too, Happy. I mean,
Don't forget
I
that.
was going to suggest a next step would be to go back to Steve and Ben and Chip and Ricky and say, you know, this is a market with 6 farms, so not as big, and different layout, and it's September 12th, and can you be there? Because it's going to be different, and or it's not can you be there, it's like, do you really want it? Do you want to be there?
Well, I've asked that question already.
Well, I think if they wanted to be there, they would be here, because they heard that Lise had some pretty strong objections to going.
Right.
And so it's a meeting where we can vote on stuff. And I mean, they're not here.
Yeah, I'm
I-
kind of surprised also.
So we'd just be like planning it for them, yeah, to go.
Right. So,
Right.
I mean, I would give them some notice and allow them, but, you know, I wouldn't just canvass in the same way. I would say, you know, a majority of the ag committee that met on blah, 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 or at least whatever, you know, had reservations, you know, based on Lisa's arguments and Melissa's arguments, and an alternative kind of rollout of publicity. And how do you feel about that? You know, because they weren't here. I don't know if anybody feels really strongly that we should have it. I really don't. You know, I don't know.
It seems like there's a lot of hesitance, or maybe it's just because of the whole, obviously, the COVID thing. I mean, if there were a normal year, we've never really gotten our act together to be part of it. We would be kind of like wanting to take part in it. But, I mean, and we might, if you guys do it, we probably would do it too. But, you know, we have a lot of hesitance about the too much personal contact with people. So I mean, I guess isn't that the veil that's or the cloud that's over this whole thing? It's like, you know, how much people want to get. I mean, and I know that everybody has to or has at varying levels at their farms, but to be part of an active thing in downtown Concord, I mean, I would assume that's the hesitance on people's part.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will send out one more email and ask that they make up their minds. Everyone will make up their minds. And we should have this concluded by August 7th.
So will this email include the other option of doing a more like social media focused virtual promotion as an alternative to Ag Day?
Well, I'll mention that there are other alternatives, which included, oh, geez, I just got bumped out again.
And then my other question is, as we were just, alluding to, the folks who seem to feel more strongly about holding this aren't actually here. So if they still say, yeah, we want to do it, who's planning it? Like, who is that?
I mean, I think it comes down to who's planning anything and who will plan the technology part. Anyway, advertising, layout, and all that. I mean, it's always been the committee, but everyone's seemingly quite busy now, and they have other areas of interest, I guess. But
That would definitely help plan any kind of virtual.
Yeah.
thing. We could set up another Zoom meeting, I think that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help plan a virtual thing.
Yeah, I would work on that too.
okay, so by well, let's say we'll have a meeting August 6th. How about that?
August 6th is my sister's birthday, and it's very possible I wouldn't be able to attend, but I could certainly, can I delegate my vote to somebody?
I have nothing else going on generally other than taking care of my kids in the evening. So
maybe one of your kids could cast
by me personally.
But I think it would be a great idea to have a meeting in a week.
Yeah.
And just make a decision.
Okay, so I'll ask Jeremy to set up a meeting for the 6th at 7 o'clock. And I think we can either tally the replies to the emails or vote online.
Could we do it the 5th if the 6th is difficult for Emily? I feel like she's a very important voice to have.
I hope that I will not be here on the 5th. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't want that either. So
right. So here's a question: are these meetings recorded? Is there a possibility that those who aren't here can view a recording so that they have some sense of our discussion?
I think if they're unable to get into this, they are not going to look for a recording.
There is a recording.
Yes, everything's recorded.
Quadrant of my screen, it's being recorded.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the IT guy could help us out by giving us a link so that when you contact them, Happy, you can include the link.
Well,
click this link.
I am not going to contact them individually. Like I say, I'm going to send the email out.
Yep.
And say you can vote or you can come online to the meeting.
Well,
it
doesn't hurt to give them the link.
They'll have the link for the next meeting, and they have had the link for this meeting. And I'm sure if they go to that link, they can find the video.
I bet the recorded version of this meeting is available in the same way that minutes are available, which Elise is lucky she's not chattering.
I'm taking notes.
What? Yeah.
I'm taking notes.
Why bother? Anybody who wants to see the meeting can go look at it.
Yeah.
I'm not taking very good notes.
So anyone can see our office?
I know, I should have put a sheet up to hide all our mess.
I know. What do you have back there?
Oh, you don't know. Boxes and boxes of stuff.
So August
sanitizers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will set up another meeting. I will contact Jeremy. Let me see if I can unmute him. I can't unmute him. Okay. But as far as I know, unless there's another town meeting, set up for 7 o'clock on the 6th. We have that, okay?
Great.
Sounds good.
You.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glad everybody made it.
Thanks for setting it up. This
Yeah,
is
thank you.
good.
Okay. Good night.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Take
Night.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.